Dear friends, last time we have studied Jacobi's method, which is used to solve nonlinear partial differential equation of order 1 which contains 3 or more independent variables. And in that we have obtained these as Jacobi's auxiliary equations. In this lecture, we will solve some problems on Jacobi's method. The first problem is find the complete integral of. Now we consider this as f, small f function. We write the solution for first problem. Let f is equal to, or f it is function of, we have seen it is function of x1, x2, x3 and p1, p2, p3. That is p3, x3 in bracket p1 plus p2 and then plus x1 plus x2 is equal to 0. We suppose this as our equation 1. And from this we shall now write the Jacobi's auxiliary equations. And here are the equations dp1. These are 6 equations or in the form of fractions. And we have to write Jacobi's auxiliary equation. So these are. Now we will write these directly by observing this. So we should first write this and then write the values. So dp1 dou f by dou x1, partial derivative of f with respect to x1. Now we shall see f is here and it is easy to write the partial derivatives. Partial derivative of f with respect to x1. The others are to be treated as constant, so it is only 1. And that means dp1 by 1 is equal to. Next is dp2 divided by partial derivative of f with respect to x2. x2 is here and other terms are to be treated as constant. Derivative of x2 is 1. And dp3 divided by, see dp3 divided by partial derivative of f with respect to x3. Now x3 is in this term and its derivative with respect to x3 is 1, and but this is the coefficient. So that derivative is p3 into p1 plus p2. And next it is dx1 divided by negative partial derivative of f with respect to p1, and that will be, see, negative partial derivative of f with respect to p1, and this is here. So it is with respect to p1, that will be p3 x3 and the sign is negative. Remaining will be constant p3 x3. Further, what remains is dx2, and this is equal to dx2 divided by partial derivative of f with respect to p2. Now you observe here it is p3 into x3, negative sign, p3 x3. And what is the last is dx3, dx3 divided by partial derivative of f with respect to p3, and the sign is negative. With respect to p3 it will be x3 into p1 plus p2. So that is the last with negative sign, x3 p1 plus p2. Now we observe these and we will solve this as earlier in Charpit's method or solving the Lagrange's linear equation. These are the ratios or auxiliary equations. We have to group these so as to get the values of p1 and p2. We solve it for p1 and p2, and it is easy to observe that we have dp1 is equal to dp2, and integrating we will get p1 is equal to p2. That is first, taking first two ratios. So taking first and second fractions or ratios. So what we will get is dp1 is equal to dp2, and on integration, easy to integrate. On integration, this gives p1 is equal to p2 plus a constant of integration, that is c1. or now we will consider this as f1 relation. F1 is equal to 0, and therefore f1 function, first function, that is p1 minus p2 minus c1 is equal to 0. f1 is equal to 0 as one function we will consider, and suppose this as 2. Now after getting f1 we will try to find another relation for p1 p2, and we will take that as f2. Now to get the second relation we again observe this, and we may see we can have for p3 relation, other relation, we want the values of p1 and p1 p2 p3, and therefore if we consider this fraction dp3 divided by p3 into p1 plus p2, and this term is here appeared in this denominator, so we equate this third ratio and sixth ratio. So from third and sixth fractions are taking third and sixth and sixth fractions. So what we shall get is, now I shall write this directly, this term cancels, and it is dp3 by p3 is equal to dx3 by negative x3 after cancelling this p1 plus p2 either side. And now it is a separate variable form, we can integrate it easily. So integration on integrating what we shall get, you see, log of p3 and right side is log of x3 plus log of c2. We consider the constant in the form of logarithm, and again this is negative. So if you shift this on left side, it becomes log p3 plus log x3, and using logarithm, log p3 into x3 is equal to log c2, and eliminating log, this implies p3 x3 is equal to c2. Or we consider now the function f2 as, so we have equated and got this, so we write next function as, and therefore f2 as from this p3 x3 minus c2 is equal to 0, and we take this relation as third. So we have thus the relation small f, then capital F1 and capital F2. Now one thing we have to check is that these values of F1 and F2 must satisfy the equation number 11 that we have in Jacobi's method. So we see that this is to be verified, the 2 and 3 satisfies this summation I taking value 1 to 3 dou f1 by dou xi and dou f2 by dou pi minus dou f1 by dou pi into dou f2 by dou xi is equal to 0. So that can be verified easily. Now see, first term will be I takes values 1. So then this will be partial derivative of f1 with respect to x1, dou f2 by dou p1 and so on. And we will verify this. See, notice partial derivative of f1 with respect to x1, there is no x1, that is simply 0. And if this is 0, the whole expression, first term becomes 0. Now next, what is dou f1 by dou p1? That is 1. And but what is dou f2 by dou x1? See, f2 is here, that is 0. So this is 0. So first term is 0. Likewise, we can verify f1 with respect to x2. This derivative is 0. And then this f2 with respect to x2, that is 0. So second term is also 0 in this summation. Next is x3. f1 with respect to x3, that is 0. And what about f2 with respect to x3? It is say p3. And what is this f1 with respect to p3? f1, derivative of f1 with respect to p3, that is 0. 0 into p3, that is 0. So thus these two functions f1 and f2 must satisfy this last equation, or equation number 11, in that we have written in Jacobi's method, that is to be verified. So we only see our verification is to be done, and thus we take this F1 and F2 as our additional relation. So therefore we take F1, F1 and F2 as additional relation. These are to be taken as additional relations. Now we have to find P1, P2, P3 from 1 to 3. And for that purpose, we may see as we have F2 from this, or we have P3x3 is equal to C2. We will put that value in F. So this is a third equation from 1 and 3. From 1 and 3 we have C1, P3x3, and that is C2. So C2 in bracket P1 plus P2 plus x1 plus x2 is equal to 0. Or from this we can find out the value of P1 plus P2. So P1 plus P2 is equal to minus of x1 plus x2 divided by C2. So this we shall suppose as our fourth relation. Further, we will have this value of F1. See, we will use second and fourth. And from this, what is the value of P2? P2 will be, say, shift this P2 on this side, P1 minus C1. So from 2 and 4. From 2 and 4. So these are to be solved by observing. What is 2? It is P1 minus P2. What is 4? We use the value of P2 in 4. So that is P1. And what is P2 is P1 minus C1 plus P1 minus C1 is equal to x1 plus x2 divided by C2. Next. This gives the value of P1. So twice P1 is minus C1, etc. And therefore we get as 2P1 is equal to C1 plus x1 plus x2 divided by C2. Or that gives P1 is C1 by 2 plus x1 plus x2 divided by 2C2. So thus we have obtained P1. And once we have obtained P1, we can write P2 from second. So from 2, now what is P2? P2 is P1 minus C1. And what is P1? P1 we have here. And minus C1 we have to write this as it is. And that will be C1 by 2 minus C1, means it is negative C1 by 2. So therefore P2 is equal to negative C1 by 2 plus x1 plus x2 divided by C2. So this is P2 we have obtained. Now what remains is P3. Now from third we will write its value. From 3, P3 is, this is C2 divided by, shift this on right side, divided by x3. And thus we have obtained the values of P1, P2 and P3. So this is what the important part of the solution. Now the rest part is easy. We write dz, total differential, and then we integrate it to get the solution. Thus we have started with the auxiliary equation, and by grouping the terms we have obtained the relation in P1, P2 and P3, and we have solved these. So first we have obtained F1 and F2, and then we have solved F1 and F2, that is 1, 2 and 3. And we have obtained the values of P1, P2, P3. So further, so these are the values we have. P1. Now putting the values of P1, P1, P2, P3 in total differential of Z. Total differential of Z we have seen, or it is P1 dx1 plus P2 dx2 plus P3 dx3, and just put the values. P1 is C1 by 2 minus, or it is plus x1 plus x2 divided by 2c2 times dx1 plus P2 is, here it is, minus c1 by 2 plus x1 plus x2 divided by c2 into d of x2, and plus P3 is c2 divided by x3 dx. This is easy to integrate, and for integration we can write like this. We write the variable separate, and now that can be written as dz. dz is equal to, so we will write a c1 by 2 common, c1 by 2 common, and in bracket it is dx1 minus dx2. So these two terms we have collected. And next, again this is common, x1 plus x2 divided by twice c2 plus x1 plus x2 divided by 2 times c2, and what remains in bracket is dx1 plus dx2. So this is, and now next is the last term plus c2 divided by dx3 by x3, or that can be written as c2 dx3 divided by x3. It is easy to integrate. So integrating, what we shall get? Z is equal. Z is, this is a constant, c1 by 2 is constant, and what is the integration of dx1 is x1 minus x2. Now here this term can be separated, or we may see it is x1 plus x2 and d of x1 plus x2. So therefore it is z into dz, or that type, t into dt. And then, so what is integration of t dt is t square by 2. So instead of t, here it is x1 plus x2, and that x1 plus x2 whole square divided by 2, and that 2 into this 2 at denominator becomes 4 times c2. So it is x1 plus x2 whole square divided by 4 times c2. And last is plus c2. Integration of this is log of x3 plus constant of integration. We have integrated, we write the constant of integration as c3, and thus this is the complete integral. So at the most we can multiply by 4 and 4c to avoid the fraction. So this is the required complete integral. So in this way we can use the Jacobi's method to solve such type of problems. Now we consider the second solution for the second. So second also we will write as function f. Solution for 2. Let this f is 2p1 x1 x3. Next is plus 3p2 x3 square, and next is plus p2 square p3 is equal to 0. So this is our function. Given equation is to be taken as f, small f, and now we write the Jacobi's auxiliary equation. So Jacobi's auxiliary equations are see this, and from this we will write it directly. That is dp1 divided by partial derivative of f with respect to x1. Here it is 2p1 x3 only. plus dp2 divided by partial derivative of f with respect to x2. There is no x2 term, so it is 0. All others will be constant when we differentiate partially with respect to x2. dp3 divided by that of partial derivative of f with respect to x3. Here is the term x3 and here also. So it is 2p1 x1. First is 2p1 x1 plus, and the derivative of this with respect to x3 is 3 into 2, 6 p2 x3. So these are the first three fractions and is equal to dx. dx1 divided by partial derivative of f with respect to p1. So that I shall write here. This is equal to dx1 divided by, and this derivative with respect to p1 is 2x1 x3 with negative sign minus 2x1 x3, and next is dx3 dx2 partial derivative of f with respect to p2. Here this is the second term, and that is with respect to p2 3 times x3 square with negative sign. So Jacobi's auxiliary equations we are writing, and the last one is dx3 divided by partial derivative of f with respect to p3. You see, this is the last term, and remaining will be 0. This is 0, this is 0, and this is with respect to p3, that is p2 square. So these are the Jacobi's auxiliary equations. Now we may observe which can be grouped, which fractions can be taken together to get the solutions for p1, p2, p3. Now if you observe the first dp1 by 2p1 x3, and so this can be equated to which one? So if you see this fraction, and again the fraction related to see this first ratio and fourth ratio, if you equate this, then what we will get, this x3 cancels and we will get p1 in terms of x1. So we take the first and this is fourth ratio, first and fourth ratio, taking first and fourth fraction. So this 2 times x3 cancels, and this is dp1 divided by p1 is equal to negative dx1 divided by x1. Integrating, or this implies what is the log of p1, integration of this, plus log of x1 is equal to log of c1. Simple term, we have written directly the integration, and this implies using law of logarithm p1 x1 is equal to c1 and eliminating log, and thus we take f1. So therefore f1 is this function p1 x1 minus c1 is equal to 0. Second. Now we may see the second fraction. The denominator is 0, and whenever in the ratio or fraction the denominator is 0, that implies the numerator is 0. From second fraction, see what we have is dp2 divided by 0, and that implies dp2 is 0, or this implies by on integration that implies p2 is equal to 0 plus a constant. So thus we have to only get the two solutions. So f1 we have obtained, from this we will get that as f2. So this implies on integration p2 is equal to c2, and we take f2 as p2 minus c2 is equal to 0. So therefore the use of the Jacobi's equation is now over, and we have obtained f1 and f2. So this implies therefore f2 is p2 minus c2 is equal to 0. We take this as third. Now we want to solve 1, 2 and 3. to get the values of P1, P2 and P3. But before that we should verify one thing, that this F1, F2 satisfies the equation 11. We see that F1, F2 satisfies summation I taking value 1 to 3, dou F1 by dou Xi, dou F2 by dou Pi, minus dou F1 by dou Pi, dou F2 by dou Xi is equal to 0. This can be easily verified. Put I is equal to 1 means this is x1, p1, etc. Dou F1 by dou x1. You see F1 is here. That is p1. And what is dou F2 by dou p1? That is 0. So this is 0. Partial derivative of this with respect to p1. Dou F1 by dou p1. F1 is here. That is x1. And here x1, that is 0, etc. So we may verify these are satisfied. And therefore we take 2 and 3 as additional functions. So therefore we take 2 and 3 as additional relations to obtain P1, P2, P3. Now we have to find P1, P2, P3 from 1 to 3. See, so here it is. Now from 3, what is P2? P2 is C2. So we can use this value here. And from 2, P1 x1 is equal to C1. So from 2 and 3, using 2 and 3 in 1. We get 2 P1 x1. P1 x1 is C1. So 2 x3 plus 3 P2 x cube. So P2 is C2 plus 3 C2 x cube plus P2 is C2 square. C2 square into P3 is equal to 0. Right side is 0. And now from this we have to find out what is P3. See, this is what is this is x3, P2 is C2, and this is x3 square. This should be corrected. So 3 P2, what is P2 is C2, and this is x3 square. Or from this P3 is, so this gives C2 square P3 is equal to, take these terms on that side, negative, minus 2x3 minus 3C2 x3 square. Or that implies P3 is equal to, I shall write here, P3 is equal to minus, divided by C2 square, and negative sign is common, minus 2x3 plus 3C2 x cube divided by C2 square. So this gives the value of P3. And what is the value of P1? From 2, what is P1? P1 will be C1 divided by x1. And from 3, P2 is this. So thus, P1 is from this, C1 divided by x1 from 2. P2 is C2 and P3 is this value, minus 2x3 plus 3C2x cube divided by C2 square. Putting these in, dz is equal to P1 dx1 plus P2 dx2 plus P3 dx3. So we get dz. What is P1? C1 by x1. C1, and I shall write dx1 by x1 plus P2. What is P2? C2 only. C2 dx2. And plus what is P3? P3 is here. That is negative. Negative 2x3 plus 3c2 x cube. See this value p3, it must be x3 square. So this was x3 square, and so we must correct this is x3 cube. So 3c2 x3 cube, and yes, this is p2. So what we have done, we have to verify this. So what we have done is p1 p2 in this. So this is p1 x1 is c1, 2 c1 x3. This is 3 c2 x3 square, and p2 square, that is c2 square, and p3. And so I shall verify this first again, because I rubbed out this earlier steps, and that will be 2 p1 x1 is c1 x3 plus 3 it is the c2 x3 square plus p2 square, that is c2 square p3 is equal to 0. And we see what is p3. p3 is negative. This is 2x3 and 3c2 x3 square. It must be x3 square. So it is to be corrected, x3 square, and yes, x3 square, and rest is now alright. So this is 2 c1. So p3 it is actually c1 c2, 2 c1 must be there, 2 c1 x3 plus 3c2 x cube, because this gives p3 is equal to minus 2c1 x3 plus 3c2 x cube x3 square divided by c2 square. So this is the value we obtained, and therefore it must be corrected. 2c1 x3, and this is 2c1 x3. So after correcting this, we will put these values in dz, and that is 2c1 x3 plus 3c2 x3 square divided by c2 square into dx, and thus we have to integrate this. Integrating gives the solution. So integrating, what we will get, z is equal to c1 log x1 plus c2 x2 minus, now this is to be separated, 2c1 divided by c2 square, negative 2c1 by c2 square, x3, integration of x3 is x3 square divided by 2, and minus the last term is 3c2 divided by c2 square, that will be 3 divided by c2, 1 c2 cancels, and integration of x3 square, that will be x3 cube divided by 3 plus a constant of integration, that is c3. So this will be our solution, or that can be simplified, and you see that is z is equal to c1 log x1 plus c2 x2, and this is 2 cancels, c1 by c2 square, then it is x3 square, and here also 3 cancels, minus x3 cube divided by c2, and last is c3. This is the complete integral, or if we don't want the fractions, then we have to multiply throughout by c2 square. So this is the required complete integral. So this solves the problem. So the procedure we have used for first and second problem is exactly the same by writing the auxiliary equations, etc. Now observing these, I think you can solve these two problems yourself. So please try third problem and fourth problem. I have written the answer here. So only one thing is for the third problem, it is not in the standard form because z is there. In this function we have no term for z. Z is explicitly absent, but z is here. So this third problem can be written as, given equation is, we can write this as 1 by z p1. 1 by z, what is p1? Dou z by dou x1. And second 1 by z p2, dou z by dou x2. And next 1 by z p3, dou z by dou x3 is equal to, this z cube is written on left side, 1 by z cube written like this. P1, this is P1, this is P2 and this is P3. And what remains on the right side is x1, x2, x3. So this is the equation, given equation. Now here what we will use is put, so you note this hint and then you try to solve this problem. We put 1 by z dz is equal to capital Z. So if this is so, then what will be the differentiation of this z with respect to x1, x2, etc. Then this implies, therefore, dou capital Z by dou x1 will be the derivative of this 1 by z dz with respect to x1, and that is it will be 1 by z dou z by dou x1 will be capital Z dou z by dou x1, that is 1 by z dou z by dou x1. And similarly dou z by dou x2, dou capital Z by dou x2 will be 1 by z dou z by dou x2 and so on, etc. So thus the given equation becomes is this one, dou capital Z by dou x1, dou capital Z by dou x2 and dou capital Z by dou x3. So this is equal to, these are the terms, and is equal to x1, x2, x3. Thus, and by on integration, what we will have here is 1 by z dz is capital Z and partial derivative of z with respect to x1. So we have to obtain on either side derivative of this dou z by dou x1, and this 1 by z will remain constant. And now we suppose this as P1, P2, P3, capital P1, P2, P3, and is equal to x1, x2, x3. And take this as our starting equation. Now this is the equation which does not involve z. So therefore take f is equal to, f is P1, P2, P3 minus x1, x2, x3 is equal to 0. And so thus we have converted the given equation, this equation, in the standard form, where capital P is dou z by dou x1, etc. Solve now as earlier we have solved first and second problem, and finally replace the value of z. So finally z is to be replaced by 1 by z dz, and then we will have, see, this solution in this form. So first we will get the solution in terms of z, capital Z. Capital Z will be, see, it should be log z, capital Z will be log z. So the substitution is capital Z is log z, and therefore then this will be, the substitution is, you should correct this, capital Z is equal to log z. So if capital Z is equal to log z, then what is the partial derivative of z with respect to x1? 1 by z dou z by dou x1. So this is correct. So z is equal to log z. Yes, this is small z. This is capital Z. So capital Z is equal to log Z is the substitution. Then partial derivative of capital Z with respect to x1 is 1 by z dou z by dou x1. Capital Z, the derivative of capital Z with respect to x2 will be 1 by z dou z by dou x2, and so on. And then this follows. So finally we get the solution in terms of capital Z and put capital Z is equal to log Z. So this will be the answer. And this last problem is simple, very simple. You can solve it easily. So please try to solve these problems yourself. Thank you.